Hi, welcome from Australia. My name is Chrissy, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a channel prediction reading for January the 21st. Now I do update prediction channel readings just to see where we're all at around the globe and around the world. I've got some beautiful people and subscribers who communicate with me, and I love hearing from you guys, and we need to keep these kind of communication channels kind of open, and we all need to be kind of discussing things because we're all going through a lot of very challenging times. So I thought it's just always good to sort of see what energies are coming through. So I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll get started and see what my guides channel through to you. So we'll just get started. So there's fiery tempers. They're showing me like people jumping up and down and kicking and screaming, and it's like, you know, when you see a 3-year-old having a toddler having a big temper tantrum, they're hysterically out of control. And I feel like this is kind of a mass feeling around the globe that people are feeling really out of control in sort of their environment, in the way that they're feeling. It's like people are so frustrated that they're creating enemies because of their hostilities and what's kind of rising up in them. And I always talk about these are real soul shifts that are going on at the present moment, and I feel like this is something that's really happening. It's people having these temper tantrums, like they're kind of looking at us and we're looking at them, and they're going, why don't you understand me? And we're thinking, God, why don't people understand this? Why aren't people seeing this? And we're all coming to this from very different viewpoints. It's kind of very frustrating for a lot of people now, and that's why they're harboring all these kind of energies. He's resentful and sort of angry, hostile. I talk about that a lot. We've had that certainly here in Australia. Energies, and that's something that's still very strong around this 21st of January. I'm still getting that kind of energy. I feel like things are being really misheard and misunderstood. So it's almost like things are being perceived in the incorrect way. So there's things actually being put out now on media platforms, and there's things that are coming out that are kind of dribbling into the narrative, and people still aren't seeing it. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like unless you're wearing the correct, it's almost like putting on 3D glasses and seeing things for the real dimension. It's almost like if you're not wearing the correct glasses, you're not actually seeing the things that are happening, because people have a lot of still a lot of tunnel vision. So their whole vision, it's like they've put the blinkers on and they're only seeing the narrative. So they're not seeing anything outside of that narrative. And I feel like that's still something that's really happening in the mainstream. I feel like that's really still dominating the energy. And I feel like people really need to get clarity on their own thoughts now. I feel like there's a lot of these things creeping in now about self-doubt, others' opinions. I feel like a lot of people are being really confused by others' opinions. They're starting to feel like maybe they do belong in a madhouse or in the loony asylum. These are the kind of energies that are kind of rising up now. And this is just how some people are responding to the things that are sort of happening to them and what's going on around them. So you've got to kind of find ways to stay really strong. And it's about this cycle repeating itself. So you can see, as a person standing back, you can see just this repetitive cycle repeating itself. And it's just going on and on and on. And it's like you're not in it. So if you're watching this video, I'm guessing that you're one of the spectators that is standing back and just watching this all evolve. It's almost like watching a narrative of a show that's kind of going across in front of us on the screen. It's like, this is happening, now that's happening, this is happening, now that's happening, and we're not actually in it. It's almost like we're looking at it from the outside, and I feel like that's what's happening to anyone who has awakened or who sees things from that very different perspective. They do talk about that 5D perspective, and how because people are really using their senses, they're opening up their gut feelings, and they're sort of using all their intuition and the things that are going on inside of them. They're actually listening to that. But a lot of people don't tune into these things, and they ignore their intuitions, their gut feelings, and what they're kind of hearing and sensing. So that's the difference of kind of being on that fifth dimension. You tend to use a lot more of your sixth sense, which is those sort of hidden messages that you're being delivered by the universe. So I feel like that's kind of going on. A lot of people who are living from this higher kind of, it's higher in the thinking sort of realm of the way you're seeing things, so you're kind of detached, and this is actually a very safe place to be. And they're showing me that it's like almost like you've got this beautiful, they're showing me like a beautiful cottage, like cozy home, and it's like in an old English village, and there's a white picket fence, and it's like you're near the mail. You've gone out to get the mail and you're leaning on your picket fence, and the whole world is like parading past your house, and it's like complete insanity. You're seeing like volatility, you're seeing the disturbances, you're seeing the heightened energy, the anger, the signs, the confusion, the turmoil. There's all these things going on, but you're actually still feeling pretty safe in your own sort of environment. And it's saying that that's where you've got to find that safety now. You've got to create that safe haven for yourself, and that's a representation of the kind of the home with the white picket fence. Like, you still have a right to live your it's saying purify, but it's not really the word that I'm looking for. To live your the word is like wholesome. So if that makes you feel wholesome, being out in your home, in your garden, surrounded by your pets, your family, the things that make you feel happy, your lounge room with all your little bits and bobs in there, these are the things that are going to help you through this journey. And that's not saying to hide away, because you're actually watching things from afar by leaning over that picket fence. You're watching things from afar, so you're still observing, but you're becoming a healthy observer, because you're watching things kind of without judgment, which is the safest place to be. Because when you get entangled in the dramas, the chaos, the fears, that's when you start to sort of crunch up into those negative headspaces. So you're wanting to kind of keep your life moving forward, and you have to just watch the parade go by. And that's the biggest message in this video for the 21st of January, is that learn the art of detachment and detaching yourself and just allowing these things to flow past you. It's like watching, you know, some big Christmas pageant in the street and watching it go past. You're there and you're sort of clapping and you're observing, and you're really not commenting or saying very much. That's the same kind of example. Just watch the passing parade now. Step back, allow the parade. I'm not saying to not have your voice and this sort of thing. That's very important as well. But you've got to kind of control your energy and just stay in your safe place. And that's why they give me that vision of the house and the cozy sort of cottage with the picket fence and the green grass and the beautiful flowers growing, because this is how you find that inner peace and that sanctum in the God, crazy times that we're all going through. Now, I hear a lot from a lot of you countries out there: Canada, Germany, Austria. Oh my God, I'm loving hearing from you guys. Sweden, the Netherlands, Switzerland. So many places are going through some really turbulent times, as we are here in Australia, and that's still ongoing. I don't even turn TV on here because we just get completely bombarded by one side of the debate. So if you're finding that that's happening to you, that's certainly one way to detach, is to kind of switch things off and not engage in these arguments with people that are really going nowhere. Because like I said, people have different glasses on, and we're seeing these things from very different kind of perspectives now. I get the message of being very streetwise. So you've got to also be very smart. It's like when a cat's going, they say a cat's very streetwise. That means these feral cats and things are very cunning, and they're very clever at how to manipulate their way around the busy streets. If they're living in the inner city or just any street, they know when a car's coming. They know how to dart across the road without getting hit. So they're kind of saying they're very streetwise. They come out at night and they feed off the scraps around old restaurant bins and things like this. So this is kind of what they're saying to us, is about be streetwise, you know. Be like that feral cat that's kind of not hiding away. You're still out there living your life, but you're also removing yourself from sort of being victimized, being hurt, being vilified. This is a way of protecting yourself. So they're kind of showing me that feral cat analogy, because they're very, very clever and smart in their thinking. So they're saying to use your thinking now in how you're going to sort of navigate. And if you are in these countries where you have very, very strict lockdowns, and I know there's a lot of you that are being very coerced and forced into getting, you know what I'm talking about. You have to actually find these ways to manipulate and keep your life going, because you've got to kind of really, it's saying fight to the finish line, but you've also got to survive in order to get there, and that's really not easy. These things can be very overwhelming. They bring fears up. Anxiety is running very high in a lot of people, and these are unhealthy states. I talk about that in a lot of my videos. If you are suffering anxiety and any of these things, go and check out some of my other self-help videos. I've got a lot on there on how to navigate and reduce these feelings in your body as well. But they're not healthy states to be in, and you want to kind of learn how to navigate life like the feral cat. Like the feral cat comes out at night. There's not as many people around. They don't have to be as defensive. They don't have to worry and look behind their back or over their shoulder all the time, because they know they're clever, they're smart. They know when to go out, when the times are quieter, when they're not going to be vilified. These are the things that you've got to look at as people, of how to navigate these challenging times. If you are being totally bombarded and coerced and forced into things, try to think like that cat. Now, how can I do this? And have the smarts. It's like saying to me, have the smarts on navigating. Look, I don't know how long these things are going to drag on for, because it seems to be just dragging on and on and on and on. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably feeling the same thing. Everyone pretty much just wants this over and done with. I know yesterday in the UK, Boris actually went about telling everyone to ditch masks, ditch the QR codes, and it kind of just came from nowhere. And I think everyone got a bit of a shock, like how can we be being locked down, this massive pandemic, and suddenly we're just sort of free to pretty much do everything, except I think you have some mask wearing in busy public places. But there's just all these confusing rules, and just, I don't even know, everybody's doing this so differently. So if you are in any of these countries, just behave in a very passive state. Try not to draw attention to yourself. And I'm not saying to bow down. I'm certainly saying I've said before, find that support group, because that's what's very important in this moving forward, that we find like kind and we find that support, and we all help each other sort of to navigate this, gosh, confusing experience that we're all going through. I feel like Belgrade, Munich, there's a lot of festivals and things that people have been trying to push for, and they're getting squashed. It still feels like everything's getting squashed. And to me, the biggest thing that we're seeing is that they don't want anyone to have any joy anymore. Where's the joy in life? Do we laugh at anything? You've got to get on YouTube literally and watch sort of South Park or something ridiculous just to have a laugh these days. We've got this great guy in here, if you want to check him out, called Aussie Man Reviews, and I laugh and laugh my guts out. And he is very funny. You've got to go and check him out, because he's got millions of followers, and he's really good for a good laugh. But this is what we need to do. We need to start laughing again. We need to find some joy and happiness. So all these festivals and things that are being squashed, there's no music for youth growing up. I know in Germany that you probably have fantastic concerts and things, and there's none of this. Anything that's bringing joy to people is being squashed, and that is just a way of getting that sort of herd to follow. So, we do have to fight back. We've also got to fight back with the smarts. So really focus on that on the 21st of January moving forward. Just focus on being very clever and not kind of drawing that attention to yourself either, because that's a good way to protect yourself, by watching that parade go by. So look, that's all I've got today for the 21st of January. I know these times are really troubling, and we're all really challenged by what's currently going on around the globe. It just seems like total insanity to a lot of us. But we have to also remember that people are seeing things very differently, and sometimes people take longer to see the big picture, or to understand what's really happening here at the core of all these rules and regulations that are being implemented right around the globe. It's not just in one country. And I think moving forward, people are going to have to come to that realization themselves, that a lot of these things aren't working anymore, and that we have to make some really proactive changes in order to kind of get our lives back to some sort of comfortable place, I guess is the word. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will talk to you very soon. Subscribe to my channel. I love hearing from you guys. Hit the like buttons, of course, because that always helps me a lot. And we can get all these messages out to people by sharing each other's kind of viewpoints. It's great to hear other people from other people as well. And stay strong and also protect yourself in this journey. And who knows where we're headed, but fingers crossed things get a little bit easier for us to navigate. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye from Australia.